All right, it is 7 o'clock, so call to order, everyone is that's tonight, that is listed above. Pledge of Allegiance, and the flag is right behind everyone. Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The new mission statement, which I'm very excited to read, is to nurture excellence, unlock potential, and ignite passion. We have student board reports tonight, and we have Maddie and Lily. If you don't mind coming this way, please. And right over here by Tom, if you could present that way, and the speaker is right there so that you can speak. Seeing, and you can see your as well.
No pressure.
So please share with us.
Okay, my name is Maddie Zuby, and for future plans, I plan to attend a four-year college for a degree in agriculture. My favorite classes that I've taken so far at our school is probably construction and animal science, just because it was super fun. I was with a bunch of my besties, and I learned things that I probably wouldn't have in just a normal class. I was the football manager this year and the past 4 years, and sadly, football season has come to an end, but it was very fun. So those are my full activities.
I'm Lily Roseski. I plan on attending UWL to major in exercise physiology on the pre-professional track and then become a PA. And the probably my favorite classes were either like I'm really enjoying AP statistics at the moment, and I know the last thing.
I love this class.
And then I'm also very fond of anatomy as well. And then my activities that I'm in, at the moment I'm in no sports, but I am in FBLA and I mean NHS. Sorry, it's beginning of the year. And class officer. So
Want to share anything about homecoming or?
So homecoming was last week. We had actually really good turnouts with school spirit. A lot of people, I mean, dress up days were a big thing, and there was a really good show up for that. People were excited about doing skits and songs and the float. And the homecoming dance had a pretty good showing as well. And yeah.
About sums it up for our grade.
Who won? Who won?
Not us. Juniors won, yeah.
Oh,
But
tragic.
it's okay.
Music was good at homecoming.
Yeah, the DJ was actually, I've heard a lot of things from students and teachers about how the music was a lot better than past years. Good choice on that one for sure.
I appreciate the variety of extra floats there were this year. And as we're sitting there in the parade, there were different organizations more represented than usual. So that was very nice to see.
Yes, for sure. There was definitely, people were wanting to work on floats more, and I think it kind of showed a strong dedication to the clubs they were in, because a lot of them did them, the week before and stuff like that, took time off their weekend and stuff like that.
So the parade was today. Do you see any advantages, disadvantages with it taking place today versus on Friday?
At least my personal view and other years like this, I think everyone likes the parade to be on Friday, just because, pre-football game and everyone's pretty hyped about it. And I think the loss on Friday kind of deterred people away from it, but we, our cards were dealt and we went with it. So people still enjoyed the parade for sure.
weather was a little better today than Friday.
Just a little.
And your first quarter has ended or not quite yet?
Last day of the quarter is on Friday.
On Friday.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Statistics and all I'm just gonna say.
So thank you so much. We are very excited for you on whatever your endeavors are moving forward, and hopefully you'll be willing to come back and speak to us. And if you ever have any questions about the Board of Education at our school district, please feel free to contact any of us anytime. Thank you for giving your time tonight when I'm sure you have studying to do and other things.
Thank you.
So have a good night.
Thank you.
The next item is committee reports. We have compensation. Kim?
Compensation met, and basically most of, all the meeting basically was in closed session. Lots of good discussion, but no decisions, and nothing is finalized to bring forward yet to the rest of the board.
Thank you. Budget and finance.
Yeah, budget finance, so budget and finance. We have a mill rate increase next year, 14 cents or 1.9%. That is primarily, there's no new dollars that are going or being spent for the district. But there is an increase in expenditure there for the vouchers that are going out to children who live in the district, but may go to a school that participates in the voucher program. So that's where we're seeing an increase there in bill rate.
And that doesn't have anything to do with more of our students going
Correct.
to others voucher program school districts. It just has to do with the state regulations of how the voucher system works.
Correct. Yeah.
Any questions? The next item is buildings and grounds. Robert?
Yes, this evening we met down HFR and Myron, discussing the building project that's scheduled to get going here. Right? Maybe a little earlier if we can get some things done, a lot of earthwork to do, etc. Trying to work around, of course, the school schedule and trying to be the least disruptive that we can be to the students and the staff here. And also, I guess you'd say our parents, and bringing kids to and from school. Looking for a completion date of the end of 2024, unless there's some unforeseen circumstances. So this evening, we're going to be asked to approve the bids not to exceed $17,974,569. If you recall, that's well underneath what we had asked for from the electorate. We do carry $1.1 million of owner contingency, so we may be able to pick up some things that we'd like to have. That's going to be determined here a little later, making out a kind of a priority list and let the board decide how they want to handle that. Mike suggested that there is some money potentially in arbitrage. It could be a significant number, but I'm not going to hold Mike to $1 million on that. So with that, if there are any questions, take them now. Otherwise, look forward to working with this group and looking forward to what the project will look like on its completion and how it'll positively influence staff and student achievement, satisfaction. Pick a good one.
So the only thing that I would add to that is that the bids came in great. And we're very, very fortunate. We did not have to eliminate any part of the referendum and the projects that we were going to do moving forward. So we were very, very fortunate and they were spot on. So it's all good news. Any other questions?
just want to make a note that we are under the $20.5 million that was approved. With adding all the soft cost design fees, furniture, fixtures, tech, everything all in, we're still under the 20.5.
The next item is the consent agenda.
Is public comment?
Oh, public comment. I was already told there
I'm sorry,
isn't
okay.
any. No, that's okay. I was already.
something now?
Oh, there is. Oh, I was told there wasn't, so I'm sorry about it.
Wasn't the last time I was.
Sorry, Beth.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry about that. We have Matt, who would like to speak about the compensation. Matt, do you mind coming over here, please? Thank you. And the speakers right up in front of you here in the ceiling.
All right, good evening. My name is Matt Urch. I'm a Viroqua High School history teacher and also co-president of the Viroqua Education Association, along with Mr. Adam Fogelson. This is my 8th year in the district, 24th year as a public school teacher, and 32nd year in public service. I can tell you a lot about this staff right here because I work with the high school folks. And I had 2 boys that went through this district, and I got one at UW-Madison School of Business now, and one studying Russian language abroad. And even though I'd like to take credit for their achievements, I guess they know a little bit about history from me. But all the other stuff, it's from these folks right here. My wife and I have never questioned the quality of education that our boys got in this district. Nobody over there or myself got into this business to get rich. You had somebody that thought they were going to get rich doing this job, you probably wouldn't want them teaching. But on the other hand, I think we do deserve a wage that keeps up with inflation. I would like to give these folks more than inflation. We were a little bit disheartened with the level that the district came in on the first offer. And we feel like we've met them halfway, but it looks like right now we're kind of at an impasse as far as the amount. And we're just asking that the district not impose a settlement on us, that they do meet us halfway. That halfway meeting still results in us getting a wage that's less than inflation, which means functionally we're losing money, but we're willing to do that for the district. So thank you for your time.
Agenda, and that will be approval of the agenda, proof of public notice, September meeting minutes, 3-1 in the amount of $621,670.93. There are no retirements or resignations. Appointments: Mary Redinger, VAMS E2 teacher, 23-24 spring start college now, early college credit program, online course requests, and early graduation requests.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Marina, can you?
I'm an aye.
Okay, you're an aye. Great, thank you. All right, motion carries. The next item is the voucher summary 2 in the amount of $354,588.45.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I abstain. The next item is to postpone action to certify the 23-24 tax levy and approve the 23-24 budget to a special board meeting on October 23rd of this year. Is there a motion?
So
A second? Any discussion? So we're going to postpone this to the October date because we just got information from the state about what our the final numbers from the state about what our budget might look like. So since it was just presented tonight, that way the board will have a little time to look over it and then make that decision next Monday night. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is the maximum guaranteed price for district construction project.
Which is $17,974,569. And with that, as generally building grounds, I would
So 17,974,569. Perfect, thank you.
Second.
Any discussion? We had a wonderful presentation from HSR and Myron tonight, as Robert mentioned earlier. It's very exciting to have this project move forward. We want to thank the community for their support of the referendum. We could never do something like that without the support of our community. With that, all in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next items are information and discussion. There is going to be a special board meeting on October 23rd. I will have to attend that virtually. I'm going to be taking care of my mother-in-law in Arizona. Vicki, will you be able to be at that meeting?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you'll be in charge.
we have time.
Do we have a time yet? We'll send that out. Is there a time that doesn't work for people? Aware of yet? Well, Beth will send something out.
Well, we just set it for 5:45.
5:45, does that work? Okay, 5:45, thank you. The next item is donations over $250. Vernon Memorial Healthcare donated 500 for back to school tailgate event sponsorship. And then there's various local businesses and individuals that have donated 1,100 for the book of the month. And that's a total of $1,600. We want to thank our community for their generosity. Our community is amazingly philanthropic and giving to our students and our teachers and our buildings, and we're very, very fortunate. The next item is the district administrator report.
Right, as you can see on there, we want to celebrate for the first time with you guys, School Board Appreciation Week. That was October 1st through the 7th. So thank you for all you do for our Viroqua area schools community and this community at large. So thank you.
This was very nice.
Not gonna do a round of applause. Okay.
No, sorry,
All
this
right,
was
all right.
really nice. This was very nice. We appreciate it. That's very kind. of your thought.
Andy on here and I haven't found it.
Well, thank you, Robert. Is that better?
Robert's not on here.
Okay.
The next item, community conversation reunion.
Yep, so that'll be November 1st at 6 p.m. here. That is a reunion for the community conversations we had last November, which was that 3-day event in early November. Part of that will be a public unveiling of the strategic plan that you guys approved last month. And really just talking about what the next steps in the strategic planning process we will begin. That'll start, it'll be about an hour, I would anticipate. Not gonna be a super long time commitment, but we really want to make sure that we get everybody either back together or together to talk about what those next steps are that were laid out by the community last November. And then facility planning update, you guys heard it already. Which was we continue to move forward with Myra and HSR. We continue to have a fantastic experience with 2 outstanding companies that came in under budget, that came in with giving us some flexibility that we weren't expecting at this point in time in the process is incredible. With that, guaranteed maximum price, again, allows us some wiggle. And so that is a much better position to be in than the alternative, which is you are having to cut things out of your scope of your what you asked the community for, which many districts unfortunately find themselves in.
Cody, do you have any comments in regards to summer activities, and how this might all affect you, or is this kind of putting you on the spot as it is?
No, that's fine.
Are you talking about the facility planning?
Facility planning and then what's gonna happen.
Yeah, like Tom said, it's just been a great process. Obviously being fairly new to this job, fairly new process, but it's just, both HSR and Myron they really laid out so many options for us, all within the referendum of what we presented to the public. And with the bids coming under budget like they did, the ability to possibly even, do a few more things within that scope. None short of the AD accessibility is one of my favorite things on this, just making everything safe and useful for everybody. It was just continues to be, but it was a really neat process to be a part of, and I'm looking forward to very shortly really, I guess, breaking ground on it. So very exciting.
Thanks, Cody.
I'm also pretty hopeful. I heard some positive feedback that they really did work with our teachers, and our teachers put in a lot of time to get what they wanted from this project and make sure it met their needs. So that was a wonderful collaborative effort.
And that continues to be ongoing, specifically a couple of the people in here, the tech ed and ag crew. You guys have put in a lot of time into this project, and there's still more that we're working on as far as making sure you have the right equipment that you need for the next 15, 20 years, and truly, really trying to set us up for the future within the tech ed world. So thank you.
The next item is the administrator reports, and what I'm going to do, so we have homecoming, fall activities, PBIS plans, and then parent teacher conferences. So I don't know how you want to go about this, so your thunder doesn't get blown by someone else. So should we start with Jason this time, maybe so that he doesn't have others take his highlight?
Usually Tom takes it.
I
That's
try to stay within, my lane this time.
No, like the girls said earlier, we just wrapped up homecoming. Was a great week. The theme was under the sea, which we didn't realize we'd have like 2 or 3 inches of water. When we chose that theme, maybe we did, Michelle, but I don't think we did. So we were trying to, adjust things on the fly as we did, but so we did end up moving, making a decision Thursday afternoon to move the parade on Friday. Dress up days were great. Kids were very active in the float building, and the advisors. We did add a little bit of hallway decorating this year. Skits and rally still occurred on Friday, dance on Saturday. And the students and staff were just very actively involved, making it a great week. It's one of those weeks that it's a busy week, but it's always one of those memorable things and things that kids remember for years to come. We've had our high schools had first parent teacher conference night. We try to do it just after midterm every year. So we had ours about homecoming week. It seems like longer ago. But it was probably only about 2.5 weeks ago. We did our parent teacher conference night, which we've done just like we've done in the past. We have signups, but then we may have some flexibility that we can do phone or Zoom type in with parents too. And fall activities are wrapping up. Like said, last football game was Friday night. Cross country had their conference meet on Saturday. Ribbon, one of our students, was first team all conference with that. And the kids competed really well. They have sectionals coming up this Saturday at Maple Grove. We have a home playoff volleyball game tomorrow night versus Spencer here. And as we get close to wrapping up fall activities, practice for hockey and girls basketball, I think, starts on the 6th of November. So that's literally just around the corner. So it's kind of ebbs and flows. We do have the end of the quarter this coming week, which is a little unique to have it 1 week after home. Well, not even a full week now this year with late of the break, but about a week after the end of homecoming. So always busy. So.
Yeah. Steve?
Sure. So I want to start with just a quick celebration, a couple Hawks that rock. Deanna Liam, Alex Mazer, and Alyssa Utek did a fantastic job with homecoming in 3 totally different fashions. Deanna and the student council did an incredible job of setting up the dress up days. Thank you to Michelle and the high school student council for involving our 7th and 8th graders in the skits and rally, allowing them to come participate. Alex Mazer whipped up the 7th, 8th, and 8th grade band members to join the pep band in their performance at the pep rally, and also tonight because they didn't get to play on Friday due to weather through the first annual Ultimate Frisbee game, so that there was still that halftime show performance that they'd been practicing for a while. So that was kind of cool. And Alyssa Utek, Kim had mentioned it. There was a new variety of floats, and for the first time in I don't know, a while, there was a middle school float for our middle school sources of strength, and Alyssa UTech and our peer leaders did a fantastic job of getting that float ready and participating. They got a lot of cheers from our middle school students who really enjoyed seeing their peer leaders up there, so that was very cool. And Deanna Liam, of course, this week also sent me a shout out, asked for shout outs from our staff throughout the week as I check in and just in general, anytime they have a shout out. And of course, she reflected it right back and just said that, you know, that homecoming week couldn't have been what it was without the rest of our staff, making sure that it was an experience that everyone felt like they were a part of. So thank you to the rest of our staff for making that a really positive experience for all of our students and anybody that was a part of our school, whether they be visitors or people that are here every day. Parent-teacher conferences are a little bit different this year, so we're matching up with the elementary school. Next week we'll have two parent-teacher conferences nights on the 24th and the 26th from 3:30 to 7:30. We are anticipating a good turnout for that. These fall conferences are our best turned out conferences. That's it, right? Sure. They are the ones with the best turnout. The winter and spring ones, not so much. So we're actually going to revamp that process a little bit and do, instead of parent-teacher conferences in the winter and spring, we're going to do showcases. So similar to what we did with Back to School Night, that was kind of a big success of kind of building on the momentum of all of these separate events, trying to put them all together and increase the participation in all of them by kind of lining them up. So for the winter showcase, we're be showing off some of the food that's happening in our family consumer science classes, some projects from Tech Ed, the specials classes that they have right now in this first semester, and that's going to be December 4th, and then it's all kind of capped off with our band, orchestra, and choir concerts that happen later that night as well. So again, hoping that all those things kind of build off each other, that we get an opportunity to have a lot of parents coming in, a lot of community members coming in and seeing the great things that we're doing, right? And then doing a similar fashion in the spring, banding together with the Bandorama performance. But our specials in the spring are going to be a little bit different, right? So we're going to have a middle school art show and a middle school egg show, right? Which is going to be kind of fun. We'll show off some of those other passions that students might have that are outside of the music program. And also showcasing our music program at the end of the night with the Bandorama performance as well. So this is the first time that we're going to try something like this. We're hoping that it allows us to have more conversations with more families, not to replace some of those crucial conversations that happen. Those still happen. We're just not going to wait a quarter to have those conversations, right? Our staff does an incredible job of staying in communication with our parents all the time, and with technology, what it is, parents are tapped into where their students are at because of how great our staff is at updating their grades on Skyward and things like that. So we're just allowing those conversations to happen at a separate time, really making a strategic purpose for those nights of getting people in the building, right, and seeing and celebrating the things that we're doing in our school days. So fall activities just wrapped up for the middle school as well. So we had volleyball, great participation in volleyball. We had two separate teams for 8th grade and a big 7th grade team, and they did a really fantastic job. And we're very passionate about what it is that they did. We had cross country who did an incredible job. We had some first place finishes, team finishes, some great individual turnouts and performances as well from some of our cross country athletes this year. And I just love how inclusive that is, and just that we have that opportunity for our students at the middle school level as well, right? We had some students that didn't participate in sports before participate this fall. And we were just talking in one of our RTI meetings earlier today how beneficial an experience that has been for some of our students who were a little bit more resistant, and that it really gave them an opportunity to feel like they belong. And we're really seeing that impact bleed into the school as well, the school day. So it's just another benefit that we see from those things that we think are out of school, but they're not, right? They're really part of what it is that we do. And then we also had our football season as well, just finished up. And a huge shout out to Coach Curley and his crew. I got an opportunity to watch a couple of their games, and one of them in particularly in Westby. They scored one touchdown. They lost by like 5 touchdowns, but they scored one touchdown, and just the amount of pride that they took in scoring that touchdown and cheering for each other on the way back to the bus. It did not matter that they lost. It mattered that they were part of a team. And that was just, again, part of the cool experiences. And that's just a huge kudos to our coaching staff, for all of our sports that make that a welcoming and inclusive opportunity for all of our students too. So that was our fall activities, and that's the middle school administrative report.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat that, man.
I-
Pretty
I
good
can't- I
reports
can't
ahead
even-
of you.
I can't even try to. Let's keep it short and sweet. Like me. Our PBIF system at the elementary school is similar as it has been the last few years. The biggest thing we're looking for there is consistency. The staff and have developed lesson plans, and a component of that is to assume nothing and teach everything. Staff have come up with a lesson plan for the expected behavior. And a big component of that is then staff teach the students what we expect. Expect them to be quiet in the hallways. Teach them how to do that, what we expect, reteach, model that. And that's the biggest component is consistency. Montessori and the elementary school under one building, so the expectations have to be the same when we're in the hallway, in the bathroom, lunchroom, all those common areas, we have to have consistency. What one teacher expects can't be different than others. Students are following the behavior, which most are. They can be acknowledged with a Black Hawk ticket, which then they can vote on 2 choices for a quarterly celebration, which this quarter is outside dance party or extra reasons. Yeah, I took 2 days to go to the elementary principal conference last week, and I feel like I've been gone for like a month. Yeah. If students aren't, a big component it's similar to academics. Do we punish students if they're struggling in reading or math, or do we teach and reteach? Doesn't mean there aren't consequences, but our staff do an amazing job of handling most minor incidents. If it is something that needs to be handled by the office, that we have forms that do a few things. They can document the behavior to see if this is a pattern or kind of a one-time occurrence. It also tells us when that student might be struggling. Is it always at recess? Is it always with certain friends? Try to come up with interventions for that student. But yeah, the staff does a great job teaching, modeling, reteaching a lot. But it brings that consistency to the building, which is awesome. Yes, as C mentioned, teacher conferences next week. 4th grade is still, I believe, Mrs. Cade is here planning on piloting kind of a different format, same time as the rest of the building, but kind of piloting a grade level meeting where all their parents will come in, give the same information and report back this month how that goes. But I'm glad they're stepping outside of what's always been done and trying something a little different. It's not easy to do. Yeah, we're off to a good start. Had to ride in the float today, and life was good.
Were the students able to watch the parade today?
Yeah,
They're all outside watching. That's a highlight. And it was such a nice day too. Did the team go through the elementary school for homecoming?
You probably did when I was gone.
Oh, you were gone. That's right. Pardon me.
They did a pep rally.
Oh, they did, because that's always a lot. Well, thank you. Thank you. The next item is the board report. We have Laurel High School update. Vicky, is there any update?
There was a meeting on September 25th. That was the regular council meeting as well as the annual meeting. And originally that was scheduled to be at Echo Park, but the weather did not cooperate. So we met up at Laurel. That was a really nice chance, I think, for the families to get to see the facilities and how the students have everything set up and organized. And it's just a nice area to have it. So the regular meeting talked about organizing for open meetings and setting the agenda for the annual meeting that we had, and just talking about what will be on the agenda for the rest of the year. And then the annual meeting itself just was a recap of last year, what happened, and talking with the families about what was done in Laurel and what they're going to be focusing on this year, like revising bylaws and the handbook. And also a call out to recruit some new members. So had a chance to talk to the families, and I think there were a few interested people. So. Oh, and we had desserts after. That was the best part. Sorry, Renee. We had dessert potluck. And there were lots of leftovers for the students the next day.
Great. Always a highlight.
So that was fun.
Thank you. The next item is VAM's update. Kim, were you
Yep.
able to attend?
I was able to attend the meeting, and they spent some time reviewing processes and things for developing their minutes for their meeting. And one of the things is that now that there's an approved contract, trying to delineate what the different committees are doing and how everyone fits into the process. They're gonna have a SWOT, which is strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats meeting on a Sunday, and try to pull everything together so that they can be a little more organized based on, new contract and where are they going and what things are gonna happen from that. And otherwise, some committee work that people are doing, and they're still working on still talking about using the use of the courtyard here outside the library. And the school forest got quite a bit of cleanup, but they realize that's on hold until they see where the retention pond and all that fits into. So yeah, so it was a good meeting, and their SWOT is the most important thing on November 19th.
Thank you. Pat, did you have anything to add for that or no? Nope. Okay. Thank you. The next item is the WASB legislative update, and that will be January 17th through the 19th in Milwaukee. There's going to be more information coming up, but if you could put those dates aside. What we have done in the past is we have gone on that first day, and then we tend to leave Thursday after the last meetings on Thursday. That tends to work out pretty well. The things on Friday in the past were not very well attended. That's when perhaps the governor comes or someone from the state comes, but we found that they weren't always there. And so it just to pay for a hotel and to spend the night, it just wasn't very productive. I don't know if that'll change eventually if we see that works out differently, but right now that's kind of what we've been doing in the past.
It's usually the snow and ice day.
It's always the snow and ice day. There's always, you could bank on there being a snow and ice day when we're at the school board convention. It's pretty shocking, actually. And then I'd also like to thank Mike. He forwarded me some legislative information about budgets. And then I asked him to forward that to our legislators, and he did hear back from one of the aides. And it was a very good way of explaining school finance because it's complicated. With that, motion to adjourn. We have Robert to second Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And we'd also like to thank all of you for attending tonight. You can come anytime.